Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurd. I'm back on the two Edison suitcase homes with the decals on the top of the lid. And the first motor I'm going to pull down or take apart is roughly the newer one, or about 1900. The first thing I do is I run the speed control down till it almost bottoms out so that the yoke here, this right here, is off the governor. I want that. Then you're going to lay the motor, you're going to take the speed control off. It's one screw. You don't want to lose that screw. Then you're going to undo the screw in here on the pulley. You're going to unscrew that, and that pulls off like that. Now we're going to take the belt tensioner out. And you're going to check the belt tensioner here. You see how this spins? They haven't oiled or greased this. This is a very good sign. This will clean up very easily. Next, we're going to take the whole gear train out. The hard screw is here in the back. It has 4 screws, one at each corner. And we have a hard one to get in here. I'll just turn this way for my angel. You got to kind of slide down between that gear. See? I'm going to undo that one. Get it loose. You can use a smaller screwdriver. We're going to come back down in on this side. I've pre-loosened that one. You have another one of these in here.
Partially hidden screws.
Partially hidden. Or we can get on the top. And then we have the last one here in the corner. The whole casting will just pop off like that. Now we'll pull the barrel out like that. We'll set this aside. Now to take this apart,
Nothing else comes off this big piece?
No. Well, later I'll take this out. The winding crank mechanism here, because there's a pin right in here that holds it in place. You have a pin here and a pin here for the crank. You can see this doesn't have a threaded shaft. It's a slotted crank on these.
So how will you get that off, the pin out?
I will knock that out. But I'm going to get to the gear train. All you need to do is take 1, 2, 3 screws out. And you notice I separate screws. This holds the casting. This is for the gear train. If you get in here and you find that these are not tight, that indicates somebody's been in here before.
I'm hearing these snap open, so that
Yep.
means no one's been in here before?
Nobody's been in this. just gently, and that's how it comes apart. We have the governor.
Show the governor again.
We have the governor. The governor pops right out. It all just pops apart.
How do you take the governor apart?
I'll have a video on doing the whole motor and the governors and everything. We have that gear. The most important gear in all the homes is this drive gear right here for your governor. This is what drives the governor. And I'm looking now to see if we have any dings on it, and we don't. And I wrap these up in like a paper towel. I want to protect that gear. I'm going to pull this off. In the rebuild, I'll clean this and I'll polish all these running surfaces here. I'm feeling a little roughness. Bearings come out. Governor bearings come out. And then we go to the next bearing. And we'll pop that one out. Sometimes these get stuck, then I'll use a small punch like this and hit it with a hammer and knock those out. Take the other side apart because we're going to clean and polish all this out. Usually on Edison's, the casting here on these, the earlier ones have a much smoother casting than the later ones. These get stuck in place. They don't want to come out like that. You can stick a punch on the inside of the screw area. Those pop right out. Onto the spring barrel. On the spring barrel, there's a brass spacer washer here. We're going to save that. We're going to take the gear off. I always use my magnetic trays, that way nothing goes flying down the road. That was loose. And that pops off just like that. We get to the other side. Now everybody wants to know, how do I get the spring out of this? Well, because you can't grab the Edison spring when you take the motor apart, all this casting here, I'm just going to pop it into the trash can as usual. Pulls out. The spring is good. It's not cracked or broken. So that means all we need to do is clean this. Now, before I end here, you can see the difference in the spring barrels, 1896, 1900, or a little earlier. And the difference. The bottom side here. The reason these were open like this was that they would flush it out with benzene and then put in the graphite and grease from this side. That's why you see these early barrels are open like this. You know, this is a lot of fun, and that's my tip for the day.